Welcome to the It's Your Business radio show, bringing you Welcome to the It's Your Business radio show, bringing you weekly advice from the best experts to provide you with insightful suggestions for your small business to allow it to thrive in the competitive marketplace. The It's Your Business show guides you through the uncharted waters of small business and gives you a voice on what can help you move your own business forward. Dr. Stan Fine and Melissa Coleman are here to bring you great content to help you kickstart your business and put into practice all the information that they share. Okay, audience, here's Dr. Stan and Melissa.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the It's Your Business radio show. I am your host, Melissa Coleman. Dr. Stan is still not with us. He is getting better every day and convalescing at home. We're hoping to have him back here on the air with us very soon. So we want to continue to send well wishes to Dr. Stan. And we are here today with Sicardi Bruce. He is without his partner, Rich Bazzani, but Sicardi is representing the St. Louis Ambassadors. So we're going to be speaking with him in just a little bit about business planning. So that's going to be an amazing subject. So welcome back, Sicardi.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
I know. I love when you guys come and visit us. As I like to tell everybody, you are, like, for me, the godfathers of business.
Oh, you're very kind, but Rich was actually raised on the hill. So,
I know. So it makes sense. No, but I mean, between the two of you, I mean, there is, 50 or probably 100 plus years of knowledge wrapped up in the both of you.
Yes, there is. And we've been together for a lot of that.
Yes. No, I love when you all come and join us and share with us here. So we just want to remind everybody, you are listening to us here on KWRH 92.9 FM and also simulcasting on KXOK 102.9 FM. We're with you every Saturday from noon, and we are also with you Monday through Fridays on My Genre Radio. You can check us out on all our platforms. Go to usradionnetwork.com and search our show, and you can watch us in many places. We air there from 9 to 10 every weekday, and then again from, Jimmy, I forget. Are we 1 to 2? 1 to 2, everybody. I got too many shows to remember. So you can find us there. So anyway, we are, as we've mentioned, Rich and Sicardi run the St. Louis Ambassadors here. And there is also a young professionals group. And we're going to be introducing you periodically to some of the young professionals. So today we have Rachel Boone here with us. She is the president of Tri-Leaf Designs, and she is now the new chairman of the St. Louis Ambassadors Young Professionals, which are for professionals that are 40 years of age and younger. So, Rachel, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And we are going to let you introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us what you do in your business, and then we've got some questions for you.
Thank you. Yes, so Rachel Boone, Tri-Leaf Designs, and I like to say I'm about to age out of the young ambassadors. And the joke at the last meeting was, but you're young.
Right.
Just to let you know, Rachel, we're very seriously considering stretching that 40 years a little bit.
Oh, so you might have a few years longer.
There you go. So Tri-Leaf Designs was started 14 years ago. And I'm a transplant from San Antonio, Texas. And when I came to St. Louis, I really fell into the St. Louis Ambassadors, which is an amazing organization, and also the Ozark Trail Association. And then I'm now a Cub Scout leader. So those are like my three big communities in St. Louis. And I love nonprofit work and small business growth and the community.
Awesome. Well, we're so excited to have you on today. I'm going to let Cy start us off with the first question, and we'll go from there.
And this is for you to tell us about what services that Tri-Leaf Design offers.
Tri-Leaf is 3 leaves. So we're graphic design, web programming, and marketing. My undergrad is in graphic design. I have a second degree in web programming. I have an executive MBA from WashU. And with all that, we started more in the graphic design realm, but I found that marketing is really what my love is, and be able to find very mindful, which is solutions that make sense for small businesses, not just because you do it, but very much of what works for your individual company, your philosophy, your way of working. And I love coming up with those nuanced strategies specifically for small and mid-sized businesses.
How do you define small and mid-size?
For me, our sweet spot, I'll put it that way, because definitions are all over the place. Our sweet spot is about 125,000 to about 5 million. That's the kind of the size of business that we really enjoy working with. And of course, we have some on other sides of that. But in that really growth phase, where it's maybe the one entrepreneur to like I have a team, is really where I enjoy.
Awesome.
Very good.
And let me ask you now, knowing that you are a transplant here, how did you start Tri-Leaf Designs? And if I can also add, what were the challenges and what helped you overcome those challenges being new to the area and really starting at ground zero, building this business with not knowing a lot of contacts probably?
So I started Tri-Leaf when I was 24. And I didn't mean to start it. I had worked in the industry for about 10 years. I got my first graphic design job at the age of 15. So I was working in the industry and then went to school to make sure I knew what I knew.
Mm-hmm.
When I was working for a outdoor bag design company in St. Louis, and I loved what I did, but I saw a few changes in the company. So I decided it was time for me to take a break. Well, my break, which was working retail over the holidays, turned into me having so much work, I needed to call people for help. And Tri-Leaf grew until that was in December of 2008. By the time we got to July of 2009, I had my first office and agency and staff. And I just fell into it. And I was really lucky to be able to fall into it.
Well,
Go
ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. One of the things that really helped me was the community in St. Louis. There's individuals here that will help you and lift you up. And I fell into some groups like the St. Louis Ambassadors. I was part of BNI. I did organizations, groups like that really helped me learn how to network, learn how to grow business, and give the right connections that I was able to leverage it. And so I really grew up in Tri-Leaf Designs and have morphed and changed and evolved as St. Louis has evolved and as small business has evolved and as we went through COVID, and that involved all of us. And I've had so much joy being able to grow my businesses that I work with in the process.
Well, Rachel, tell me this. What do you mainly enjoy about your business?
My favorite days is when I can give peace to business owners. When they come to me with a problem, I don't know what to do. I don't know the next steps. I really want to grow, but I'm stuck, and I'm able to help them overcome that and reach their goals. And then when they call me and say, hey, I just did that dream backyard that I've always wanted, or I just went on a vacation, or guess what, I'm on the golf course today, and have those dreams that every entrepreneur wants, but sometimes can't exactly know how to get there, utilizing their marketing and their strategies and their business to help them get there is the days that just really light me up.
Oh, tell me this. This is a little off the subject, but how do you feel, or do you feel that artificial intelligence will be a benefit to your business?
I feel about artificial intelligence as I did Canva, which is a design tool. So I'm a trained graphic designer. When all the online design tools started happening, it pushed out the graphic design jobs. Yes. Now, there's always still a space for the experts. There's a difference between someone doing it who doesn't have the skills and someone doing it who knows all the rules and how people interact with design. And I feel the same with AI. As people tell me all the time, is this going to take away your copywriters? Is this going to take away your social media posters? Are you going to lose work? The thing is that when you put something to an AI, it puts out great information. But if everyone's using it, it starts having the same feel. Even when you can put in different settings to give it your feel, it's still a technology. What really sets businesses apart, and what I work a lot on, is what makes you unique, what makes you stand out, and what's the knowledge that only you have because you're the expert in your field. And that knowledge of being the expert in your field is something that no AI can, I think, ever touch.
Exactly. I think you always need that human touch in any business. Always. And let me ask you, Rachel, what makes Tri-Leaf Designs different from other agencies out there?
It's our mindfulness, really saying what's going to make a difference for you. We have set packages, but normally those are tweaked. So I look at you and say, okay, what's your budget? What's your goals? How can we make you grow? Because if I can help a company grow through their marketing initiatives, then that just means more money into them, which just means more stuff we can do for them in the future. So I take a very consultative approach to companies, and then I bring my team in to implement it. Or I consult and then teach a business owner how they can do pieces themselves.
Yes, no, I think that's amazing. And given, this show is here to help small business, help themselves, and having all of you amazing companies, showcasing all of the young ambassadors as we move along, working with Rich and Sicardi, that we get to showcase your business and all the future young ambassadors that are in this amazing group of people. So,
Rachel, let
yes.
me ask you this. What is the Snapshot Report?
So Snapshot Report is a program that I bought. It's a third-party report that I utilize for companies. I have to pay for every single report run, but it's something that I give away to the community for free. And it's kind of my giving back, my tithing, and it gives a really good view into the company from what the world sees online. So there's multiple categories. There's your online reviews, your online listings, social media, website, e-commerce, advertising, and SEO. So with a Snapshot Report, it usually takes about 8 hours to run. It will give a view of what the world sees, an outside third-party review. I utilize that. I will then create sometimes a video with it, just explain it through it. And then I give the business owner things that they can do themselves now to make a difference in their business, and then things that we can help with. My thought is if I can help businesses level up even a few little degrees, then it gives them space to be able to work with us now or in the future when they're ready for it.
That's amazing. And Rachel, how can our listeners get a free snapshot report for their business?
They can go to our website, which is Leaf, L-E-A-F as in Frank, designs with an S.com, and it's on the homepage. If they want to go straight to it, they just do /snapshot_report, and it'll take them directly to it. They fill out the form, and it's as easy as that. And they can also reach out to me on Facebook or LinkedIn. Everything is Rachel at TriLeafDesigns.com to make it easy. And I'm happy to send links that way as well.
That's interesting. Now, Rachel, this is going to be a funny question to ask you because I already know one of the answers. But what are some of your other passions? And I happen to know that you have about 103 children, and that has to take a great deal of your time. But
that's like all the passion.
What are some of your other passions?
So I don't have 103. I have 4. But sometimes it feels like that.
I am
really
that's
blessed.
Almost a handful, Rachel.
Yeah, almost. I am blessed that, like, one of the things I love about my motherhood is I've been able to showcase to them what it is to be powerful, what it is to do what you love. So, like, this morning, I got up and was working, and my daughter she's kindergarten, brought a little school book over and sat next to me at my computer. they've been raised with it, and it's just a great example to provide them. And one of my passions is helping moms know that you can be mom and you. That it's not a or, it's an and.
Mhm.
And I'm actually working on a chapter on a book that I was asked to contribute to about that, and the power of being who you are and having your passions and having that be a benefit to your kids, not it's a distraction from.
Mhm.
I pull that into my Cub Scouts. I'm a Cub Scout leader for the John Weldon Elementary School in O'Fallon for the second grade boys and girls. And I love that work. And then there's the St. Louis Ambassadors. And then the Ozark Trail Association, Trius Designs, has been an adopter of a trail. So we go out and clean it up for the past 10 plus years
Oh, wow.
for that.
So you're a busy woman.
And enjoy every moment of it. And I want that for everyone that has their businesses, to find that space where some days it's hard. And sometimes just, you're like, man, that was a hard day. But knowing that you're building something that you're proud in and one that still lights you up, and having that light.
Yes, absolutely. And Rachel, how can our listeners get a hold of you one more time if they want to work with your company, have a conversation to really dive deep into what they need?
Facebook at just Rachel Boone. You can look for me. You can search for me with Rachel at Tri-Leaf Designs, which is TRILEAF, designs with an S.com. That email links you to my LinkedIn, my Facebook, and you can email me there. If you go to the website, submit a contact form that way as well.
Awesome.
That's
And
probably the best way to get a hold of me.
fabulous. Sai, do you have any other questions
Well,
you
I
want to
think
ask
we've
Rachel?
covered it pretty well.
We have.
I'm deciding that we need to increase the age limit, I think, a little on the younger ambassadors to keep Rachel in power a little longer until we can really get things moving well. But I hope we can work something out on that, Rachel. You've been a great inspiration to a lot of people.
Thank you.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, Rachel, we want to thank you for joining us for this time on the air and sharing what you do and supporting your community in many different ways and the businesses here. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Well, we are going to share the rest of this show with Sicardi Bruce. I'm going to let you share a little bit about your background. I know we had you here quite a few times, but give us a little taste of what you do.
Well, we'll be somewhat brief about it. I went to the University of Arizona and spent my last year putting together a business plan of what I wanted to do. And when I got back to St. Louis, I found that I couldn't do that because my dad needed some help in his business. And so I went in with him. He had been ill and stayed ill, unfortunately. So I took over a relatively small business, 20 employees, right out of college with very little experience, and built it up over about 14 years to 250 employees, and then sold it. So I was happy to get out of that business, but I was fortunate in being able to retire a little early so that I could devote time to some of my passions, which are helping the community and helping the people in the community and helping the community grow and prosper. So I've been able to devote a lot of my time and effort to that. And it's a volunteer. I've been the head of the St. Louis County Port Authority, head of the St. Louis County Building Commission, and then I've been on about 35 different charitable boards. And with Rich, he and I have done quite a bit of fundraising for all the charities around St. Louis. So this is really what our passion is, and we enjoy doing this along with our business activities of helping people franchise.
Yes.
And that's been a big part of our life also.
Amazing. And I love how you always say you retired early, but I feel like you probably work just as hard now as you did when you were working.
Well, it's sort of that was not what my chosen profession would have been.
Right.
So as a result, I now am able to do things I enjoy doing, although it's not necessarily for a profit.
Right, right. Well, I think that is like a huge thing. And even like Rachel said, with what she's doing in her business, is really we want to teach our smaller businesses, especially because small businesses, you're like one or two people maybe, and giving them those options to support themselves in a way in which they can work on the business, not so in the business, and grow that business.
Well, as I've told my daughter, I was a single parent to her growing up. And she would say, Daddy, what should I do when I grow up? And that's always a question all along. And I said, honey, it doesn't matter what you do. What you need to do is find something you love doing, and you'll never work a day in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really true, because once you have a passion for what your profession is, it's really not work.
No, it's not.
It's joy, and it's it's a whole big difference than having to work at something that you don't really enjoy doing.
Yes, yes. And today we're going to be speaking about business planning, which is going to be exciting. Probably lots of things I still need to learn, even being a business owner now for quite a few years. But I feel like there is always something to learn. And I love learning from both you and Rich. So.
Well, there's lots of different ways to run a business.
Mm-hmm.
One is to be an entrepreneur,
Yes.
such as you are,
Mm-hmm.
and you run your business and set it up the way you want it to run,
Mm-hmm.
and you've been very successful with it, and you will continue to be, because you're very good at that.
Yes.
But not everybody has those entrepreneurial tools that you have innately.
Mm-hmm.
So I refer to those people as intrapreneurs, and they can work as hard, be just as fulfilled, but it's not their way of doing it. It's someone else's way, and you can do that through franchising.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you buy a franchise, what you're really buying is a way to run a business,
Mm-hmm.
and the way that's a proven way to make a profit and be successful with your business. But you have to do it the way that the franchisor dictates.
Right.
But many people really prefer that. You probably would not, because you're a true entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
But the entrepreneur would not be at all comfortable having to make all the decisions. He'd fear making too many mistakes. And this way, he's got a roadmap to follow.
Yes, yes. And tell me, what is the difference? Because I know whether you're an entrepreneur or what did you say? Intrapreneur, a business plan is always needed. Correct?
That's right. Either way.
Either way.
Certainly.
And what is the difference of the two?
The difference is the entrepreneur makes his own business plan, designs it the way he wants it to be, and then operates his business and changes the business plan from time to time to meet different market conditions, et cetera. And it's a fluid kind of thing. With an entrepreneur who becomes a franchisee, a franchisee, he takes a business plan designed by the franchisor and refined over the years to get all the bugs out of it, so to speak, and is able to operate his business according to someone else's plan.
Mm-hmm.
And he's happy to do that. He or she is happy to do that, because they don't have to make it up, and they don't have to stub their toe all the time in learning how
Right.
to avoid the snake pits and the tiger traps and everything else that
All the
are in the
things. It's
business
all
world.
those things. Yes.
Right.
Yes. I just want to remind everybody, if you're just now joining us, you are listening to the It's Your Business radio show. We are here today with Sicardi Bruce talking about business planning and how that looks, whether you're an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur, and how that benefits your business. So, what is the purpose, and how should you always have an updated, active business plan no matter what?
No matter what, you need one. In the case of a franchisee, it's provided for you,
Mhm.
and it's updated from time to time depending on market conditions. For instance, pre-COVID, it was one business plan. During COVID, it was a whole different business plan. But
Mhm.
that was done for you by professionals, and you're merely there to operate your business according to this plan. Very good way for many people to do business, but some people don't like to do that. They want to do it all their way.
Mhm.
And sometimes they're extremely successful. But to give you an idea, the entrepreneur starting his own business, it has about a 80 to 85% chance of failure.
It's
About
huge.
15 to 20% succeed well.
Mhm.
A great deal of them fail. And it's almost exactly the opposite with franchisors and franchisees. The entrepreneur who buys a franchise has about an 85% chance of success
Mhm.
because somebody has already gotten rid of the tiger traps and stuff that he might fall into, he or she might fall into, and made their path a little easier to follow and more specific, rather than coming up with their own methods that may not be tried and true.
Right, right. And let me ask you, well, maybe we'll hold off because we're actually, believe it or not, coming up on break. I want you to be able to share how everybody finds you, gets a hold of the St. Louis Ambassadors, best way for our young professionals to find the Young Professionals division of the St. Louis Ambassadors. So let's let you share that.
Right now, you mean?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Well,
We just got the green light. So
okay. Well, you can do it through contacting me at area code 314-941-0779. It's my cell phone, and I keep it with me at all times, and happy to talk to anybody about it. Our website is St. Louis Ambassadors, Saint spelled out, and it's let's see, St. Louis Ambassadors Incorporated.
Mhm.
And that is our website. It's available. And through that, you can reach either Rich Pisani or myself to talk about it. The Young Ambassadors is also available through the website, and the method of contacting them and contacting Rachel Boone to begin with to get started.
Yes. Yes. And let me ask you, do you have to be in the St. Louis area to join the St. Louis Ambassadors, or can you be remote?
It would make more sense because it's specifically designed to help the St. Louis region.
Okay.
For instance, we now are working with St. Charles County in them starting their own St. Charles County ambassadors.
Okay.
And so for people in St. Charles County, there'll be a separate organization that's operated by St. Charles County residents for
Gotcha.
St. Charles County.
Okay.
And they'll have their own methods of getting, but that's just now being put together, and Rich and I are on their board, and we're helping them get going.
Awesome. All right, everyone, stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Many small businesses do not have a marketing manager. In many cases, it is the company owner that drives marketing and sales efforts with the gut instinct to survive. Even when small businesses do have a marketing manager, though, many of them are trying to navigate through the complex sales and marketing landscape with little to no success or budget.
How to Promote Your Business with Limited Money is a general purpose how-to business book written for business owners and marketing professionals by business owners Dr. Stan Fine and Joseph W. Clote. This guide is not intended to be read as a front-to-back chapter book and rather serves as a quick reference guide. Refer to this book as you need specific information and skip around as needed.
Promoting your business with limited money is one challenging feat, but there are unlimited ideas you can apply to achieve objectives you pre-establish. So put on your marketing hat and let's take action to start showing your prospects the value your business delivers.
A little you need to know about Dr. Stan Fine. During his 60-year career, Dr. Fine has become an authority on sales and marketing business development issues. His presentations have made him much in demand as a speaker and seminar leader. He has taught business development topics at numerous universities across the United States and has conducted over 500 sales and management seminars. Some of Dr. Fine's credentials in corporate America are currently Dr. Fine serves as a co-host of the It's Your Business radio show on KRH 92.9 FM in St. Louis and a co-host of Nationwide Daily Radio Show on my Genre Radio Network on the Zeno Media platform. In 100 cities, he is also on a daily TV show on the Valuable TV and the Real TV networks. Go and get a copy of How to Promote Your Business with Limited Money today.
To purchase your copy of How to Promote Your Business with Limited Money, go to It's Your Business website at www.itsyourbusinessradio.com.
If you're looking for a new, informative health and lifestyle show to gain knowledge and inspiration to help guide your journey to think, work, and live more powerfully, then you need to listen to Sage Advice with Melissa. Now, whether you're trying to improve your life from a mental, physical, or spiritual journey, Sage Advice with Melissa Coleman, CEO of Sage Skincare, delivers weekly advice from industry experts to provide you with insightful suggestions to allow you to thrive with a better quality of life. Melissa's mission: to guide you through the uncharted waters of health and wellness and to give you a voice to help improve your life. So be sure to tune in to Melissa. You'll be glad you did.
Hey, listeners, saying thanks to your customers is nice and polite, but expressing your gratitude in memorable and ongoing ways can boost your business. At Promo Experts LLC, we exceed our customers' expectations. For over 20 years, our product knowledge and experience has helped them with their marketing initiatives and trade show graphics. We are happy to put that experience to work for you. Quality products, great customer service, and prices are our number one priority. We work with you to find unique, creative, and new ideas that fit your image and expectations, helping you build strong relationships with your customers. When you select Promo Experts as your marketing partner, we help you to see more than the big picture. For more information about this exciting opportunity, contact Diane Carson, President, at 636-458-5241. That's 636-458-5241. Let Promo Experts help you to move your business brand beyond the bland. Have you always wanted to write your own book but don't know where to start? Publishing Concepts, a publishing company located right here in St. Louis, offers everything from consulting, book printing, copyrights, ISBNs and barcodes, print book layout, ebook and iBook layout, graphic design, cover design, ghostwriting, typing and editing, distribution, marketing, and more for an affordable price. Visit publishingconceptsllc.com or just Google Publishing Concepts to get started today, or call 314-781-8880. That's 314-781-8880. Publishing Concepts. We help you sell more books.
In today's economy, there are more people looking to buy and sell businesses than ever before. When a company owner needs to sell their business, they can't just stick a for sale sign in the window. They need the assistance of a business broker to locate and vet potential buyers. On the other side, buyers rely on the broker to help facilitate the process of evaluating potential businesses and franchises for sale. A Transworld Business Advisor is the solution for both scenarios. Transworld Business Advisors focus on three core concepts: business brokerage, franchise consulting, and franchise development. Transworld has specialized in the sale of business and commercial real estate. Today, Transworld Business Advisors is a global network of brokers offering a turnkey solution for those that want to build a solid business and future for themselves while maintaining a balanced quality of life. With our comprehensive training program, full marketing support, and local field support, you won't have to start from scratch. Our trained experts and members will help you every step of the way. Transworld Business Advisors has 40 plus years of experience, 10,000 plus businesses sold, and 600 plus brokers, 250 offices worldwide. For a free initial consultation, call Charlie Scarlett, business broker, or Billy Rowland, business broker, at 636-400-6100. Again, that's Charlie Scarlett, business broker, or Billy Rowland, business broker, at 636-400-6100.
Do you want to become a radio show host, or do you want to create a radio show? Well, Dr. Stan Fine can help you to have your own radio show and put you on 100 cities daily across the U.S. And you can immediately start recording from a live radio studio. As a radio industry veteran, Dr. Stan Fine has 12 years of experience and has produced and hosted over 1,000 radio shows with over 10 million listeners. Dr. Stan Fine knows how to make this happen for you. He's a pro, and he can turn your dreams into a reality. Dr. Stan Fine will help you with everything from learning how to promote your show, develop a host persona, interview techniques, market your show on social media, teach you how to get guests and sponsors, and more. Dr. Stan Fine can put you on the air nationwide daily to 100 cities. If you're interested in making your dream come true, if you want to see how it all works, then give Dr. Stan Fine a call at 314-710-8413. That's 314-710-8413. You've got nothing to lose, and Dr. Stan Fine can help make your nationwide radio dreams come true.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to part 2 of the It's Your Business radio show. We are here today talking about business planning with Sicardy Bruce of the St. Louis Ambassadors, as well as all the other amazing things that Sicardy does all day, every day. And we just want to remind you, you are listening to us here on KWRH 92.9 FM, as well as KXOK 102.9 FM. That's every Saturday at noon. We are with you. And then you can catch us on through usradionetwork.com. We air on that side on different platforms. So check us out every Monday through Friday from 9 to 10, and then again from 1 to 2. So Sicardy, we left the first half talking about business planning and what that does for you, both on the entrepreneurial side and the intrapreneurial side. So with a business plan for the entrepreneur, what is the purpose and reason for having that business plan put together and up to date at all times?
Basically, what it is it's a roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
And it constantly needs to be updated to see where the potholes are and the bridges are out.
You're right.
And that's what happens if you don't. You end up in a peck of trouble. So it's a constant maintenance of a roadmap for success.
Mm-hmm.
And very, very important. Now, there are several ways to do it as an entrepreneur. You can do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can have some friends that you listen to, advisors that you listen to, your lawyer, your accountant, things like that, have input into updating and creating your business plan. But one way that a lot of people use is through a board of directors that they become part of. Rich and I have put together several boards of people who are non-competing.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, we'll have 12 to 15 members of a board of directors, all of which do not compete with one another.
Right.
So they meet to help one another create business plans, create updates to their business plans, correct things that are going wrong, enhance things that are going right.
Mhm.
And that's all very, very important. And it helps having several brains doing it. Andrew Carnegie was one of the first that came up with that concept,
Mhm.
and he called it his mind machine or something like that. But it really worked very beautifully, and it does work very well. And there are several large companies that put these together on a regular basis. So it's a very good way of maintaining your business plan and upgrading your business plan.
Mhm. And if we're looking at starting a business from the ground up, is the business plan the first thing that you want to put together?
Yeah, you need that. Yeah, you also need to discover what it is you want to do.
Mhm.
I think that's the most important. Before you do your business plan, you decide what type of business you want to be in,
Right.
and where is your passion?
Mhm.
Because if you have a passion for the business, you're going to do a much better job at it than if you don't have a passion for it.
Mhm.
And there are people that think, boy, I can have a bar and run it pretty well, but that's not what their passion is. What their passion is helping people, and they'd be better off if they had a service that provided mother's helpers or something like that.
Right.
So it depends on the individual and where their passion is. So the most important thing is to discover what type of business you want to be in.
Mhm.
Then after you do that, then you can create your business plan on how to go about operating it.
Right.
And there are many, many tools that are available now that were not available 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Mhm.
Give you an example. 40 years ago, if you got in your car and you wanted to go to 5293 Pershing Avenue, well, first of all, you'd have to figure out where Pershing was.
Right.
Or you'd look up on a map and cross-reference where that was, and it would take a great deal of time. Now you pick up your cell phone and say, take me to 5234 Pershing,
Mhm.
and you've got a direct line to it. So there are many tools that are available through the internet and other ways of researching good ways to do your business once you discover what you want that business to be.
Mhm. And let me ask you, because my attorney, when I first took over Sage all on my own, said I just needed a one-page business plan. Is it necessary to have that full multi-page business plan, or can you do it on like a one-page shortened condensed version?
A lot depends on your business.
Mhm.
Most businesses require more than just one page.
Mhm.
Um, you sort of need to be able to map out what each one of your days is going to be. What are you going to do when you wake up in the morning? What are you going to do when you get to the office? What are you going to do, et cetera? Or maybe you don't have an office. Maybe you operate out of your home or something like that. So it depends on what your business is, how complex the business plan has to be.
Mhm. And let me ask you, with business plans, because they're used for different things. So would you have just one business plan for how to navigate your business and the daily operation versus what you might take to a bank if you're looking to get money to help fund the business?
Sure, that's a financial projection,
Hmm.
and you need help from your auditor to come up with that. And it's very important when you're doing that. But it does dovetail with your business plan, and you merge it into your business plan to show how you're going to be able to achieve this. If you're going to come up with a EBITDA of $100,000 a year, then how do you get to that to have the bank have confidence that you can do it and that they'll loan you the necessary capital to
Mhm.
move it?
And for the intrapreneur, since you mentioned that business plan comes from the franchisor,
That
what does that other than the daily operation of things? Would that entrepreneur have to utilize that business plan for any other reason other than the operation piece?
No, it would strictly be for the operations of the business, but it's a very detailed thing. For instance, Rich and I franchised the Pasta House Company.
Mhm.
And I learned a great deal from Rich. He had been doing this before I got involved. And there are so many intricacies in a business that you don't really think about when you get into it. For instance, if in a restaurant, if a client accidentally spills his glass of water on the table, there are 12 things that have to be done.
Mhm.
And they have to be done every time somebody spills a glass of water.
Yes.
And if you don't do that, you have issues with that client. Or if the client doesn't like their potato dumpling, there are things that you have to do to make that client stay a client rather than leave you, because it's very expensive to get a customer. And you don't want to lose that customer. So there's certain things you have to do to be sure that you keep them if there's an issue somewhere.
Yes.
And it's very intricate. One of the biggest that most restaurateurs fail at, and people who open bars and stuff, is if you run a restaurant or a bar, you have to take a daily inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the biggest problems in the food industry is slippage.
Yes.
People stealing things or poor bookkeeping or something like that. So this daily inventory lets you catch problems early before they become huge financial drains on you.
Right.
And so there's lots of different things that have to be done. So in a complicated thing like running a restaurant, you could never put it on one sheet of paper.
No.
It would be many, 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 many pages.
Yes. Yes. That's a whole different animal doing a restaurant.
But you'll find that most businesses are that if
Yeah.
you really get detail oriented with them. No matter what your business is, there's lots of little things that you may do automatically as the boss, but if you need to instruct someone else on how to do it, it's nice to have that cheat sheet there to look at and say, now this is what you have to do to make this happen.
Yes. And with building out those business plans, does that help? Which it does help. But in the event, let's say something happens to the primary owner or person that runs that business, for someone to come in easily and take over that operation.
Absolutely. It also it helps a lot when you start it and when you finish it, in a sense. And in the case of one of the restaurant chains that we franchised, they had 3 restaurants when we started with them, and each restaurant had the same menu, but the chefs in the restaurants would make it slightly different. They'd put a pinch of this and a pinch of that and a little bit of this. And so when you went for their cannelloni, it might be tasting differently in all 3 restaurants. Well, if you have a chain and you want it exactly the same, then you have to have very specific recipes for each and every thing that you do.
Yes.
And it's an amazing the amount of detail that goes into something that you wouldn't think would require that kind of detail.
Yes. And let me ask you, because we were talking a little earlier in the show about having love and passion for what you do, like especially on the entrepreneurial side before you sit down and do that business plan. So if you are on the entrepreneurial side of things and you want to invest in a franchise, do you need that same love and passion? Or can anybody just come into a franchise and say, hey, I want to do this, since it's all kind of set up for you?
Yes and no. It makes it more fun if you have a passion for it. But in the case, let's talk about for a moment the barber shops that are available now in shopping centers.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget the names of many of them, but they're most of them franchises.
Yes.
And the average owner of one of those franchises, the average franchisee owns 6 or 7 of the barbershops in order to make the right amount of living.
Mhm.
And they can manage 6 or 7 adequately. They don't know how to cut hair. They don't have the foggiest idea how to cut hair,
Right.
but they know how to hire someone that does. They know how to instruct people, to train the people to do it, but they don't have the desire or the knowledge
Mhm.
to cut a head of hair.
Right. Right. Right.
So it's not required that they have a passion for the business, but it is required that they have a passion for being an entrepreneur and run it according to the book.
hmm And for you and Rich, when you're working with your clients, do you sit down with them ahead of time and help them, especially if it's an entrepreneurial person that wants to create a business plan, or are you strictly more on that franchise side?
Well, in our case, we specialize in selling franchises,
Okay.
but we do help people who have their own businesses, who are entrepreneurs, by helping them put together board of directors of non-competing businesses
Mhm.
to help them run their business
Gotcha.
and to help the other people on the board run their business.
hmm And with the boards, does anybody need a board of directors that is getting involved in a business?
It depends on the complexity of the business. If you are a esthetist, a beauty operator,
Mm-hmm.
and all you do is fingernails or something like that, and you have a little shop and you do it yourself with your aunt,
Mm-hmm.
you don't need a business plan for something like that. That's pretty cut and dried to the two of you, what you do. But if it gets much more complicated, you really do. And the minute you have to manage people, it becomes complicated. And if
Mhm.
you talk to anybody that's been in business, you say, what's your biggest challenge? They'll say
People.
employees.
Yes.
And
yes.
it's the keeping, the feeding, the training, the loyalty that's built between employer and employee
Mhm.
that's so very, very important.
Yes, absolutely. And with a business plan, is there any downside of any kind having a business plan?
Well, if you don't make a good one, yes, there's a huge downside. It's called going out of business.
Yes, yes, yes.
And-
And what are the specifics that you really need in that business plan?
Well, you need a definition of what the business is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then, depending on how complex that is, you have to break down each aspect of it. And in the case of my printing company, we had 6 unions in our plant. So
That's a lot
as
to
a small
begin with.
business owner,
Yeah.
you wear many, many hats. So I had to be good at negotiating with the union. And I also had to be good at talking to the banks to get financing. And I had to be good at selling and maintaining client relations. And we had, all the activities of running a small business as a individual.
hmm And let's talk a little bit about that sales piece, because I think, so many people start a business and don't think of that sales side. And not all of us starting a business are good at sales. So how important is it to have someone or that sales piece in place?
It's been said that nothing happens until somebody sells it.
Right.
And that's not always true, but it's close.
Mm-hmm.
It's close. And there's very few businesses that aren't selling when they're doing business.
Right.
And you can almost always tell who the boss is. You walk into a restaurant and you know who's the boss because he's the one that's got the biggest smile on his face, making sure your napkin's on your lap and that you've got water and, all the things that the manager or owner is supposed to do.
Hmm. And let me ask you, what is, because I want to know what the most fun is for you and Rich helping people get into franchising and creating business and doing these amazing things.
One of the things that happened to us, which was really eye-opening to me, was during the days that Boeing aircraft was McDonnell
Douglas.
aircraft,
Yeah.
and it became McDonnell Douglas. Now, when it did, there was a big transition in their management, and they laid off about 2,500 or 2,000, a large amount of white collar workers, and these people all had fairly large settlements from the company, pensions and things like that. And of those 2,000, about 10% wanted to start their own businesses. None of them had experiences as business people. So McDonnell, I was on the County Economic Council at the time, and they contacted us to see if we could do some help with giving seminars to these people who wanted to go into business for themselves to keep them from stubbing their toe and failing and some measure of success. So we did that. We performed that. We had people through the County Economic Council help the people create business plans and work on it and get their business streamlined before they ever got into it. So we were able to turn that around from an 85% failure to about a 60% success, which was very, very important and very good and worked very, very well for the people who did that. So it's very important to have professional help when you start your own business.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be friends who do that business.
Right.
You know somebody that has a lawn cutting service. You want to start a lawn cutting service, so you ask him how he does it, and he'll tell you how, and then you can sort of follow that.
And let me ask you, it's a little off topic of business planning, but I think it kind of goes into it, having those supports in place. How important, especially having done all the business that you've done over the years, is it to have that network of support of other business owners, to share ideas and not do it all by yourself? Because I think, like you mentioned earlier, as business owners, we wear so many hats, and you need support outside of that.
Most business owners in this wearing of the hat thing do not put together boards of directors. They might have a family member or two that serves on their board, but they don't have professional boards of directors that I've discussed with you. But they do have professionals they deal with. They have lawyers that they deal with. They have accountants they deal with. And those people they go to for advice on the technical aspects that they don't have the education for or something.
Gotcha.
So in essence, it's very, very important to seek out people with knowledge of what you're trying to accomplish, that you don't have that knowledge.
Well, believe it or not, we are coming up on the end of the show, and I would love for you to share, because we were talking during break, just a few of the things that are coming up for the St. Louis Ambassadors that people might want to join in.
All right. Well, we are having a Memorial Day party at my house, as a matter of fact, and it will be on Memorial Day from noon to 5 o'clock. There will be a very minimal air show of antique aircraft from World War II, bombers and fighters, that will do flybys, but it won't be the full blasted air show of the Blue Angels and all the awe-inspiring stuff that generally goes into it. We live on a hill that overlooks Spirit Airport.
Okay.
So it's a wonderful place to watch this. But so instead of the main air show being the focus, we'll be having 2 bands. We have a full open bar and refreshments for everyone coming. We ask everyone to bring a dish of food to share, and it's a $25 admission in advance for coming, or $35 at the door. And our contributions will all go to Forest Park and the zoo.
Awesome. Well, Sicardi, thank you for joining me again this month. And we will see you next time. And everyone, have a great week. And we'll be back with you next time.
Thanks, Melissa.
Take care.